Astro droids are getting quite out of hand. Even I can't understand their logic at times.
The latest droids from Stan Solo are here, and my pre-order came in just a few weeks ago. I've had these pre-ordered for months after the quality that I saw in the first round of Stan Solo droids several months back. And I cannot tell you how excited I am that these droids are here in my collection now. I know I've said this a lot, that the fans are doing the best work, but this round of droids in particular is indicative of that. You might recall on the last video where I talked about how when you finally have a lot of these Kenner droids to populate your environments and your displays, how much it just enriches the whole Kenner environment, and you start to realize that as much as we love vintage Kenner, there were a lot of holes. And rather than have to go out and kind of permanently customize vintage Kenner figures, in an irreversible way, we now have figures that are purpose-built in the Kenner style and with all of the Kenner bells and whistles to fit right into our collection. I mean, these figures, they are Kenner. I know some sticklers will say, well, they weren't made by Kenner in the 70s and 80s, therefore they're not Kenner. But the fact is that the quality, the materials, everything is spot on to Kenner. And Stan Solo has done an amazing job giving us all of the different droids from all the background areas of the original Star Wars trilogy. Now, you might think, well, why is he only doing droids? Well, part of that has to do with the fact that while he's developing other figures, Stan Solo has decided to utilize to the maximum efficiency the molds he already has. And in doing so, he's able to give us all of the variations of the astromechs and protocol droids, which I think is a really smart move, actually, because he's not having to go back and reinvent the wheel. He's getting all of these done at relatively the same time. And he's not bothering to reinvent things that are unnecessary. So for example, he started with the R2-D2 pop-up lightsaber figure. Well, that means that all of the astromech droids, even if they don't have a lightsaber port in their heads, they utilize the R2-D2 lightsaber cylinder body rather than him going back and trying to forensically, archaeologically re-engineer the original R2 body. There's just no point in doing that. As before, with the previous wave of Stan Solo droids, you can get these carded or uncarded. And if you are somebody that loves mint on card vintage Kenner, you've got to get the carded ones because Stan Solo's cards are identical. They are spot on to the quality, weight, and finish of the Kenner originals. Unlike the Hasbro Retro Collection card backs, which are flimsy, fakely weathered, and just look terrible. Now, in this round of droids, he's given us a few astromechs from Yavin base. So he's given us some R5 units and some R2 units from the final battle that went into the X-Wings and Y-Wings. Now, I'm not going to get into what their exact numerical designations are. You can see those on the card backs in the footage here. But the point is that these are astromechs that are in our mind's eye from when we were kids. We know them when we see them, but Kenner just never made them. Now, some people have said in the past that they don't really care about various, repaints of droids. And okay, to each their own. But when you were a kid and you were buying Kenner toys, I don't know anybody who didn't want R5-D4 and Death Star droid to go with their R2-D2 and C-3PO. And I would have welcomed a number of other droids if I could get them. I thought FX7 was just the coolest thing ever. So to see these droids redone in the different colors from the droids in Mos Eisley or, the droids from Echo Base, of which there's a new R5 unit from Echo Base in this assortment, I think it's awesome. But that's probably not going to surprise you because you know how much I love the Kenner vintage aesthetic. I really like the simplicity of the Kenner toys and figures from back when we were kids. I just do. As part of this assortment, Stan Solo has also decided to recreate R5-D4 in two forms. He's decided to give us a replica of the rarer red bar R5-D4, which is a variation of his sticker. And he's also given us a unique custom of R5-D4 as a Droids line R5-D4, which is pretty cool because that means that you can actually get him with the more simplified animation style sticker to go with your Droids figure group. And the card back on this one is amazing. The artwork is spot on for droids. It looks great. We also get in this assortment a clear domed astromech from the original Death Star from the first film, which is a welcome addition to put in your Palitoy or your Kenner Death Star playset. And for those of you wondering, Stan Solo has also offered up the Imperial R5 unit to go with your Imperial R2 unit from the second Death Star. There's only one protocol droid that's new so far, and it's an expanded universe protocol droid from Dr. Aphra, which I assume is some kind of comic book thing. I'm not really up on it, but he's an assassin protocol droid. He looks great. He's got the vac metallized body in a darker, more graphite gray with red eyes. He really does fit in a number of vintage Kenner Star Wars environments, even though I don't read the modern expanded universe material. The other protocol droid Stan Solo is offering is an upgrade on the original Yavin C-3PO I referred to in the last Stan Solo video. On this version, Stan Solo has managed to vac metallize the silver lower leg, which before was painted, and it is a really nice upgrade. Stan Solo has even offered a custom Return of the Jedi R2-D2 from Jabba's sail barge, and he comes with the drink holder over his head as well as a new solid dome head. And the reason I bring up the solid dome head versus the pop-up lightsaber head is because this domed head is vac metallized in beautiful lustrous chrome, which means he's done R2-D2 and he's done C-3PO. So why hasn't Hasbro done that for the retro collection yet? We're now 2 movies in and they've delayed Return of the Jedi so they can give us a Mandalorian retro collection, which nobody really asked for, and it's a triple dip anyway between vintage super articulated, Black Series, and now retro collection for Mandalorian, Cara Dune, Baby Yoda. It's getting a little insane. If Stan Solo is able to do R2-D2 and C-3PO, why hasn't Hasbro put them in the retro collection yet? It makes no sense. I saw some comments on the last Stan Solo video that people felt these figures were too expensive. But if you're talking about dollar for dollar, pound for pound, what you get versus what you invest, it's really not that far off from the $29.99, $39.99, and $79.99 Marvel Legends and Black Series sets they're coming out with right now at Hasbro that sell out and then you can't get them. Whereas the figures that you buy directly from Stan Solo are a pre-order and you get them. My money went down for these and here they are. And that's what, the 3rd or 4th round of purchases I've made from Stan Solo, and I've gotten exactly what I ordered with exactly the quality that I expected, which I can't say the same for Hasbro. And I think what's really nice about these figures more than anything else, as I said at the beginning of the video, is that now the Kenner world of Star Wars is starting to feel really enriched and complete. The depth that figures like the Stan Solo customs are putting into your shelves is indescribable. I can't wait for him to start looking into unproduced aliens from the Star Wars Cantina. I'd love to see him continue into other troopers from Echo Base and from the Mon Calamari Cruiser. And I admit I'd really like to see Stan Solo tackle some of those unproduced characters, the aliens and the background rebels and Imperials from the original trilogy. I understand there are some challenges there because molds have to be made after sculpts have to be completed, and then you have to invest in those, and then there's a waiting game. I get it. But because of the quality that comes out of Stan Solo's final product, I'm all in for whatever comes down the Stan Solo factory of magic here. This is incredible. It is Kenner come back to life, but new again. Things we didn't even know we wanted. And here they are. And I got so excited seeing these. I was like, I want to see the card backs. I want to see the loose figures. I want to see all of this. Like, this to me is, as I said in the last video about Stan Solo, the most exciting Star Wars stuff to come out in 2020 and in 2019. There's nothing that tops it. There's nothing that even comes close from a toy perspective. And this has been a real thrill. I cannot wait to see his next round of announcements. I understand that there might be a Yavin R2-D2 coming, and I'm already pre-ordered for that. I don't even know what that's going to look like, but if it's anything like the Yavin C-3PO, it's going to be incredible. All of these droids are keeping the memory of Kenner alive, keeping the quality of the Kenner universe alive, and building on one of the most popular and collectible vintage toy lines of all time. I cannot wait for the next Stan Solo announcements, and I'm ready to pre-order as soon as he's ready to tell us what's coming. If you collect to stay close to your childhood, but you also want to buy things that feel fresh and not derivative, Stan Solo has got you covered. Hope you enjoyed that, everyone. If you want to see more videos about Stan Solo, you can watch our video on his first round of droids here. And if you just want to see more videos about fan-made toys, you can watch our Fans Are Doing the Best Work playlist here. And now I'm gonna go make another video for RetroBlasting.